start shooting the shelf.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Shooting the Shelf, right here on the Just Shelve channel. I am Jesse Arnold, and with me is the amazing, talented, incomparable Curtis Ackerman. How's it going, Curtis?
Oh, you're talking about me. Yeah, going good. We are streaming in the Cabal as well today. We occasionally do this with very heavily mythic episodes that I think people would enjoy. So if you are watching us from Facebook rather than from YouTube, make sure you click that link in the comments there. I believe it's the first one that was on there for the StreamYard link to approve it, so that if you're making comments, we can see who you are.
That's right. I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have two amazing guests, like the song says, sometimes or two. And today we've got two amazing guests. But before we bring them out, let's go ahead and acknowledge some of the folks in the chat. We've got 1-6 Shooter saying stuff. We've got Chris Johnson, Joe Gonzalez, Jose Sanchez, Stacy Lynn, Legends Collector 1321, Paul Zach, the first 58, one of a few Facebook users. So if that's you, make sure you click that link. I am TJ Williams. The H is silent. Tanya McCoy, Steve O'Bag, Jeff Evans, Darla Ackerman, Maverick, Kevin McCoy. Both the McCoys are here. We got Wholesome Warlock, Hedgehog Action. Steve Bishotti is here. Holy moly. We are welcomed by the Lord. Arthas Zoran, G. We'll get to that, but it's coming. But G's in there. Purple Gang. We got Joe Vasapola in the house, and I think that is currently everybody. Thanks for all that are joining us live. Anybody that's watching us on replay, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and this should be a fun one. And I see Carver Customs out there now, so we got both the Lynns, both the McCoys. We're still waiting on the Orkins, but they'll be here. So,
Jordan, that wasn't a side eye. That was an eye roll for a natural 20, with advantage because I rolled twice.
And we got more folks. We got Marty Max, JD Gibson, Dakin is out there. And Carlo. So yeah, full house.
All right. Well, I mean, it's not a full house without an Uncle Joey.
This is true. But so I'm sure these folks didn't come to see us. There's got to be somebody else we've got on today, right?
Yeah. We've got, let's see. Oh, wait, no, that's not a person. We've got coming to us all the way from somewhere in Euroland. Emil.
Hello there.
And Tomas.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Well, not much. Talking to you.
Yeah.
It's gonna have some fun.
It's gonna be great. So basically we're usually a couple months out on our schedule, kind of booking things for the show. And I had a work thing coming up where tonight I'm gonna be doing a bunch of system testing, a bunch of boring stuff, but I'm not going to be able to make our normal show time. So when we knew we had to do an early show, there is just one set of names that came to mind, and it's the Swedes. We had to bring the Swedes on. So appreciate you guys joining us. I think this, works out better for you guys. What is it, like 7:00 there now?
Yep.
So better than getting you guys up in the middle of the night. So appreciate you guys joining us, and yeah. It's going to be a
Thanks
fun
for having us. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Happy to have you.
So at the start of the show, we do a little thing called shelf selections, where Jesse and I have picked out some pictures that inspired us throughout the week. So we're going to pull those up. Jesse and I will talk about them, and you guys feel free to throw any comments out that you may have as well. So the first one is one of my selections. And this is from Jesse Firerising, which, by the way, just had a huge announcement on Facebook this week. that he just got a position with Big Bad Toy Store as like their lead content creator. So congratulations to him,
Awesome.
friend of the channel, and you know that's a huge opportunity for him. So we'll definitely look to get him back on the show at some point and talk about that, because that's going to be a ton of fun, I'm sure. But with this, you know, I just love, you know, when we had him on the first time, he really hadn't dove into Legions at all. Like he had seen them and that kind of thing, but he was mostly doing some Star Wars and some different things like that. And after our show, I know he got like a Headless Horseman from Nate Strong. He started really kind of digging into Legions. And here's a shot that he did with the Shadow Orc Grunt, where he said he actually did some like weathering and stuff to the figure, which is kind of cool, because not only is he doing the photography, but he actually was, you know, playing around with customizing. And I just think this was a really great shot, how it turned out with the, you know, the background that he's got, and then, you know, kind of like the little, you know, sparks, you know, flying through the air and stuff. Yeah, good job.
Yep.
I think it's really cool. I of course, you know, seeing the little behind the scenes. I actually had picked this one as well, but which happens. Sometimes we pick the same stuff. But this figure specifically has a special place for Curtis and I, since we got to reveal it on the reveal special last fall. And just seeing such an epic shot, yeah, with the motes of fire bouncing around there and everything is just really cool. And yeah, especially using the Howard Shore, you know, you use Lord of the Rings soundtrack on anything is going to get my attention. So yeah, is a fun shot. Just this badass orc coming down the stairs, ready to do some damage.
Yep. Emil, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I've loved this since I saw it on Instagram as well. And the thing is, all of the different lights, and I mean, maybe, you know, maybe it's not many lights, but how the light reflects on the figure, I love how that brings out what do you call it, the rim light you get from looking at the horns and the armor and everything. It's like, I love how Jesse uses his camera to actually, it feels like he's drawing art, but of course with a camera. I love it.
And yeah, it does feel like he's like coming up on a, like some sort of fire. You know, just the way that front light is coming at him, and then like the little sparks in the air and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool.
I can almost see like they're if they're going charging somewhere, or there are a bunch of orcs that have been sitting down by a fire, and now it's you know, getting out like, time to go, boys, and they're like, yeah, because they don't want to go, so they're like, they go anyway because they listen to him.
Tomas, you got anything on this one?
Oh, not much to add. I mean, it's a really cool shot. I love the effects, simple but effective, and the figure too. I really love that figure. I mean,
I mean,
it's not really decked out, but it works so great. It's such a cool figure. Yeah,
this is a special one for Jesse and I, because this is the one that we got to reveal from that wave. So that was a lot of fun.
It was a cool figure to get to reveal.
Yeah, it was. We were excited. So I know Jeremy specifically picked that one out, you know, because he knows I love Shadow Orcs so much. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
We see some super chats out there. We will get to those right after the shelf selections. FYI. Next one is one of Jesse's.
So this is from Sir Valor. We've featured a couple of pictures from them in the past, but I just really was impressed with this one. I don't know if that's the Xylona head that's just been repainted, or if that's a custom head from somewhere. It looks like it's sitting on a proper ball socket there, but I don't know. But I just thought this was really cool. I liked the different look, the very kind of autumnal colors and vibes to the character, and the name and story that he had put with it was really fun. So I just thought this was there were several shots, and this one I just like the kind of dynamic pose that they had with this, and whatever those soft goods are were really cool.
Yeah. Anything from you guys on this one?
Yeah, I'm getting a Jedi feel from this shot. Actually, it looks really cool.
I could see that.
You say a Jedi?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
there's something about it.
Emil?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by the character, because when you see a custom made character that you're like, whoa, I didn't expect, or that you can't place anywhere else before, that always makes me happy to see, you know. I think it's a really cool character.
Paul
And
wants to know
I'm
if
not an
this,
animal guy.
Paul wants to know if this classifies as a fuzz monk.
I mean, I wouldn't think so. I mean, they're very specifically, woodland goblins. So, I mean, up to the character, I guess.
Yeah. I like the the background with the trees and the fog rolling in, and then like you said, the pose is just really dynamic. I think it looks really cool. Not only with the arm back with the double bladed weapon, but then the way that the soft goods are kind of flowing with it to show movement. Yeah, really cool. So this is at Sir_Valor with what looks like a 0 instead of an O. But yeah, check it out on Instagram. And then next one here is one of mine. This is at Emerald_Night_photos. And it's a beautiful shot, but I had to pick this one because of the Charbot. I love my Charbots. And this photo, the way that the Charbot is just kind of, it looks like maybe assisting Ziri in this moment. She looks like she's kind of taking a little bit of a rest there. And then she's got that nice little glow of the eyes, and the ground and the background. It seems like some sort of like a Star Wars setup, like a Tatooine kind of thing. But I just thought it was just a really cool picture altogether. Anybody?
Yeah. I really like it. I don't know. Yeah, if she's like in the middle of a shootout, taking a break, grabbing a snack or something there, and just trying to like lure in the bot with some treat. I don't know. It's giving me some Star Wars ET vibes. But I think it's fun. I like the light up eyes, like you said, and it's cool seeing her with the with that hairstyle without the mask. Like it feels, like mid combat, like she's in the middle of something. It's just this is a pretty cool shot, and that looks like a completely practical diorama with the way the sand or whatever that is there piled up into the corners and stuff. This is a really cool shot, and the Charbot's painted beautifully.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that with the hair, but it does look like she was like, just got done with some sort of battle or something, to where that one strand is just kind of pulled out from the back and is hanging down low. And yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, okay, so here we have the story. It's definitely Star Wars vibes, and she has in Duel or something, she has beaten the bad guys in this town, and one of the local bots approach her with some snacks afterwards, like, thank you.
Yeah,
it feels like there's pre this moment, and after there's a lot of stuff going on or has happened. That's why she needs a rest. It's like a lot of stuff has happened pre this picture. It feels like that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe some people were saying some things, and she took it a little personally and really just laid into them. And then this Charbot came over and was like, have a Snickers. You're not yourself.
Yeah.
And she just kind of kicked back and took a little break.
The more I'm looking at this, it looks like it feels like kind of a comedic moment almost, so you've got this battle going on. She's on the other side of this wall. She doesn't have a partner or anything, so she's making her quippy comments to the bot. But like you've got whoever it is on the other side of this wall thinks they're a tough dude leading this gang, and she can take them out whenever she wants. She's just kind of like waiting for them to like blow out all their hot air before she finishes the situation.
Finish your chocolate first. So once again, Emerald_Night_photos on Instagram. They've got some great stuff. And then if you need one of those Charbots, hit up Brian Lynn, Carver Customs, in the chat there. PM him. I know he was doing some more the parts, the arms and toppers and things like that. And you know, he's still got some base bodies, so yeah, hit him up because those things are spectacular.
I got mine right here. I just need an ox screw to come in so I know what color I want to paint it.
Next one is one of Jesse's, and I am shocked. Tell us about Jesse.
Have you?
Well, I mean, surprising no one, I picked a thistlethorn. I don't know what that soft goods is, but I love that kind of rough texture, you know, kind of like that poncho-y look to it. And this is from Lacerta Photo, Lacerta Photo, all together, no spaces or dots or anything, on Instagram. Again, it's one of those moments, like kind of slice of life moments. Like Thistlethorn's out on a mission, he's looking for some relics or whatever he's doing, and he just stops and you know, takes a moment to smell the flowers. You know, I just thought it was a fun kind of peaceful moment, and I just really dig the colors on it too.
Yeah, I could see some of the folks in Xylonis flock just doing this every now and then, just kind of, you know, appreciating nature and just taking a chill moment, you know, while orcs are, you know, sitting around the campfire cooking up dwarf legs or whatever it is they do. So
yeah, maybe this is all they do. Those wooden hippies, they smell flowers, and you know,
I guarantee you there's a bunch of them that's all they do, but they're probably not very useful in the defense. So I don't imagine.
They're very useful in the defense because they're fighting, you know, Lithia. When the vampires come and they want death, and then they see them smelling flowers, they're like, "No, we can't see this. No, too much goodness in the world." No. And it's a perfect defense. I love what Xylonis do. And side note, Jesse, all your talk about Thistlethorn has actually really, you know, through the year has really opened my eyes to the character. I didn't see that from the beginning when I first saw him. So I just want to, you've what do you say?
Wore you down?
Worn me down. Maybe that's
well, and speaking of which, I mean, we haven't really talked to you on the show since the Jesslins came about. But you know, kind of taking that inspiration from Thistlethorn and creating those Jesslin heads, those were amazing. Yeah, we'll blow up. Maybe we'll move Jesse to the top and blow him up there. There you go. That is Thom. I'm sorry.
No, this is Tom.
Gotcha.
I just want Patrick Boyle to be watching this and be getting mad because there is a character in the Wheel of Time named Tom, spelled Thom. So it wasn't, I mean, it was an original idea for me at the time because I hadn't read those books yet, but I am not the only one that has written that name in that way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Brian says he's got 6 base bots available, so get on it quickly. Message him if you need one. And once again, this was Lacerta Photo on Instagram. Next, probably no shock to anybody here. I have got a Battle Beast. Is that
a Battle Beast custom?
Yep. This is a Battle Beast tribute from @war_weasel_83, our guest from last week, who, you know, he told us that he was working on a gargantuan gorilla, and it came out absolutely fantastic. I love the use of the 1.0 scale weapon with the ogre to kind of mimic the weapon on the original Battle Beast, and then the work that he did on, you know, the figure itself to, you know, come out the way that it did. And I love when he takes the photos of the original with the you know, the one that he just made. This just came out great. So
yeah, Chris is doing great things with his ideas for the Battle Beasts. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like I like the ones where he has them pose like in his shop or on his desk or whatever, where he's posing with the originals. When they're out in like a setting like this, it makes me giggle a little. And I know this is just my childish imagination, but it's kind of like those things dropping off the alien in Cloverfield, where it's just like little sacks are falling off the gorilla and turning into these little ones. But yeah. But no, it's an awesome custom. The colors are great. Outdoor setting. I like. I'm assuming that's some canned fog rolling in there. If that's just natural fog, even cooler. But it's very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Next one is from Jesse.
All right, this is Jason B. Michael, which I know Trevor and Nate have, say very nice things about this photographer frequently. I have like zero connection to Toy Story and Buzz Lightyear, but this picture absolutely blew me away. I was like, wow, I would watch this movie. Like, this looks really cool. I don't have anything against Toy Story. It's just not for me. But this picture, and I looked at the behind the scenes. I think there's a little bit of like a floor thing there, but that's like all a what do you call it? A digorama. Like, that's all projected TV screen or computer screen or something behind him. And just the way that light is overexposed in the hangar bay or whatever that is. And I just thought this was a really, really cool sci-fi shot.
Yeah, spoiler on this one. I had this one as one of my selections as well. So once again, sometimes Jesse and I, we just have the purple brain and think alike. And this was one that I had. Jason does some amazing photography. This is one, when I saw it, I actually thought, if they had used a shot like this for the Buzz Lightyear movie, I probably would have watched it. It's just that good. Like you said, Jesse, it's something that, even though I don't really have a connection to this property, it's such a good picture that it makes you, just excited for what's going on. What is this? Like, obviously he's leaving the ship and walking into somewhere. Like, what's going on? I want to know more. So yeah, great photo. Yeah, nice job, Jason.
Yeah, great shot.
Yeah, I just also want to say that I love this shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautiful in every way.
Yeah.
Cool. Van says purple brain is contagious.
You have true. Purple brains?
Yep. Purple brain. My last shot of the day is at Drow Taylor on Instagram, which is Joe Martinez. Who I love to pick on. He's like one of my favorite people to pick on, but did an amazing job here. I saw this, and this felt very Emil Wickman to me. It's a tribute that is done with all Legion's parts. There's no real third-party thing, which I think, there's a lot of folks out there that do the tributes that incorporate some, whether it's fodder or third-party printing, that kind of thing. I think one of the most amazing things that Emil does with all his terrific tributes is, really trying as much as he can to stick to Four Horsemen parts. And that's what I see when I look at this. It's like, wow, this is clearly, if you know Masters of the Universe, this is clearly a Mosquitor tribute. But then you look at all the, at first I'm like, oh, where did that head come? Oh, it's just a regular Sphexian head. Where did those boots come? Oh, those are, it's like, as you look at the thing, you're like, I clearly know what this thing is supposed to be, but then you dig into it and you're like, wow, all of these parts exist. And this is not anything that he, had to get separately or, he didn't have to steal a Mosquitor head from a MOTU Classics or something like that. So yeah, just did a fantastic job. The paint job is great. And yeah, just did some great work. So as much as I would love to sit here and rip on Joe Martinez and make fun of him, I can't, because he did a killer job on this.
He really did a killer job with this one. It just feels like the exact right parts to use, and I like that when you see a figure and that is what goes into your mind. You're like, wow, when you've seen it before, the parts, but in this way, it's just, I love that experience of seeing some customs like that. Joe, hats off. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of when I saw Operative 83 for the first time, because it was like, when they showed Operative 83, I'm like, that is not only the best tribute I think that they have done in the line, but I felt like it's the best Manny faces we've gotten in any figure line. And then when I looked at it and I'm like, we had all these parts, but at no point when I saw those parts on the Sentry or whatever did I go, if you painted this that color and this that color, this would easily be a Manny Faces. So it's just interesting how the same parts with a different paint job can really just, you know, make something just pop in your brain. So
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to add to it. I think it's a great custom. I really like the way he did the eyes, you know, and all the different color choices. It feels not overcomplicated in the color pattern for, you know, a MOTU tribute. Like it could have very easily gotten, you know, all over the place, but the very, not saying his work is simple, but just like, it's not super complicated with the way he used the colors. And I think this turned out really nice. Again, instantly recognizable as a Mosquitor tribute, and really, really nice job.
It almost looks like I have chopped off the head of Mantisaur, you know, the bug that the Hordak rides. But it works so great as Mosquito, and that weapon is perfect for that character.
yeah, and I to me, like when I think about Mosquitor, like the things that pop out of me are the boots, the head, and the weapon. And like, you know, so like those, I feel like he really nailed on this. And those are kind of the main points that like my eye went to, was like the weapon, the boots, and the head. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. So, so once again, that is at Drow Taylor on Instagram. It's Joe Martinez in the Cabal. And I do know that he is going to be at IshCon, and he's bringing quite a few of his pieces there. So if you want to see his work, head to IshCon in August and see him there. And the last one for the day is one of Jesse's picks.
This is Scott.Blind on Instagram. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I think it was last week, I had the Donatello Mezco figure, and this week it is the Raphael. I just love the water, like the rain effect coming down. I like that he's got like his little batons as well as the size. I think that's a cool weapon to have with him. And yeah, just great pose, a lot of attitude, fun shot. And it's Raphael, so you know,
the best turtle, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he's the best, but he's my favorite.
I do love this photo because it's one where he chose not to have him using the size. And I think it makes it cooler somehow. It's like, I'm not quite to that point yet. I've got this club and I'm coming to take you out with that. And like, there's just so much attitude in the pose, like just the finger point and the club in his hand. It's like, yeah, he's coming to mess somebody up. And I love these Mezco turtles so much. I do have the Donatello. I'm on the wait list for the rest. I hope that wait list comes through for me because these things are just absolutely phenomenal. I think it's probably the best thing that Mezco has ever done. So yeah, I can't say anything more other than the figure's great and the photo's great.
And I'm happy that you say that these are the best Mezcos, because these are my only Mezcos.
Yeah, well, you got a good one to start for sure.
I'm trying to avoid more.
Yeah.
I have sold all of mine. I have only the 89 Batman left, but I'm keeping that one.
Any other thoughts on this one?
I will say I do love the finger point, Curtis, like you pointed out, because it just feels like he's being like, all right, like you're next. Yeah. Like it's like he's like picking the guy out of the lineup and be like, all right, come on, bring it on.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So once again, that's at Scott.Blind on Instagram. Check him out. I do have that's it for shelf selections, but I do have a couple more things to show real quick. One is Mythic Meetup happening here in just a few short weeks. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th in Sacramento, California. So any of you folks that are out there on the West Coast that, you know, feel like you normally don't get a whole lot of shows and that kind of thing, this is a good thing for you. I heard really good things about the one last year. Sounds like it went really well. A lot of people got to meet that didn't realize that they were kind of in close proximity and stuff. So if you're in that West Coast area, definitely check that out. And we've got a short little video here from Iz. So
Oh, okay.
with this, you may have seen this if you were on PGG last night, but I was talking to Iz because I was having a personal problem that I was dealing with. He was trying to help me with, but he also, wanted to promote this Mythic meetup. So
I apologize in advance for anyone. I don't know what this is.
Okay, here you go.
Repeat after me. R con R cigarro, R con R barril, rápido corren los carros cargados de azúcar en ferrocarril. Echevarria. And come to Sacramento's Mythic Meetup, May 4th and 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo, at Toy Fusion, and then you'll be fine.
So there you go. I've been having a problem with a good friend of ours, G, pronouncing his name because I can't roll my R's, or I couldn't roll my R's. And Iz has been helping me with that, in between time of working on this Mythic meetup. So thanks to him, and thanks to Echevarria. So appreciate that. You guys are great.
Very nice.
Yeah.
When you said it was coming from Purple Gang, I was preparing myself for one of their videos.
Yeah, it didn't come from them, but they did show it last night.
Okay.
So
All right.
Really, really appreciate
You look
it.
nervous, Jesse. You look really nervous.
I thought it was going to be that damn snake video.
No. But
Oh, stop.
I have one final thing to show, and then we will get on to it with the Swedes. But Jesse has been working on some artwork. I went to Muskegon, and the only thing really I had there was Darla's capes. And so in the capes, we put it in a bag. We put our Art by Ackerman sticker on there. Well, the Art by Ackerman sticker that I had has my face on it, and pretty much every single person that bought a cape was asking why my face was on it and not Darla's, which is understandable. And so Jesse's been working on some art for us, and soon the new sticker coming out for Art by Ackerman is going to be this one right here.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, this is lovely. Okay.
Yeah. So
I really
Jesse did it.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, Jesse did an amazing job. I'm working with Len. We're going to get these printed up, and with these, we'll start going out with any of the new capes that are going to be available at Legions Con, as well as, if I do any trades with anybody or anything and I send something out, you'll be getting one of these as well. So really appreciate it, Jesse. It came out phenomenal. Darla and I are both excited about this, and love the little splash of purple that you slipped in there as well. So thank you very much. You rock, my friend.
Got to do what you got to do.
That would look awesome on my suitcase with all the stickers.
Yeah.
And we got Vasapolo says huge improvement. There you go. And for those that just want me completely out of the sticker, well, you got to have your broccoli if you want your dessert. So,
Hedgehog. Hold on. I got to interrupt. Hedgehog, I was going to bring that comment up once we settled down there. Yes, the Lehigh Valley Toy Show, May 4th, Four Horsemen Street Team, run by Len from Wolf King, and I will be running the Wolf King table for Len. Will be a blast, and I added a little bit there. Sorry, Hedgehog. Easton, PA, May 4th. There you go.
Yes, we definitely would have got to that, but we appreciate your $5. And speaking of that, we had a couple other super chats. So this is the question before the show started. I told you guys I had a question from Van that started out as one certain question, then it was modified. So it started out first. Van had actually asked, this is a super chat. I heard Tomas is handy with a knife. So initially in the studio today, Van wanted me to ask you guys who would win in a knife fight between Tomas and Emil. And I let them know that really, like, Tomas is more of like a man's man, like riding motorcycles, working on cars, kind of man's man. And Emil is more of like it's time on sprockets when we dance kind of man. So I was like, I think that one's pretty clear that Tomas would win that. So then the question became what became our next super chat. Who would win in a tickle fight between Tomas and Emil? And I really don't know this, so we'll turn it over to you guys. You show up at Legions Con. You guys are partners in that room. Tickle fight breaks out. Who's winning between the two of you?
First of all, I lost the knife fight. Is that it?
Well, I mean, come on. Yeah,
Well, you're
you would
right.
lose the knife
Okay,
fight. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you win the knife fight.
but now we're on a tickle fight.
Happy for you. So now we're
Yeah.
gonna tickle. So even if I would win, how silly would this be? Like, yeah, Tomas, he wins the knife fight, but Emil wins the tickle fight. Like, I don't want to win the tickle fight if he wins the knife fight. Don't you hear how this sounds? If I lose, it's like, yeah, Tomas wins everything because he's stronger. If I win, it's even worse. I think, Tomas.
But
Actually, you
everything
win.
we do is
I surrender.
ridiculous. Come
I
on.
surrender.
Intentionally lose the tickle fight.
I think in the tickle fight scenario, the knife fight didn't happen. Like we just kind of acknowledged that a knife fight is unfair, so we just did a tickle fight instead.
But it did happen, didn't it?
Everyone
in the chat,
in our
everyone
minds,
knows
it happened.
did
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. So yeah.
What if it's a tickle fight with knives?
Oh.
You know that we share bed every year when we go to the US, right? In the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. We actually don't tickle each other in bed. Well, you understand what I mean.
You haven't noticed anyway, so it's.
Gotcha. So it's not in bed that you tickle each other. Got it.
We don't tickle, do we?
I think Jordan has it right here. He says trick question because everyone wins in a Swedish tickle fight. So
yes.
I think I'm gonna hand this over to Tomas if we're gonna be honest, because I'm super. How do you say ticklish? Ticklish. I'm super ticklish. You know, I would lose instantly. So I am
to know.
Yeah, that is really good for not only us on the channel, but everybody watching to know. Emil is super ticklish, everybody.
No, I don't enjoy it. So I mean,
look, so Emil doesn't get thrown under the bus here, I am extremely violently ticklish. So if you try to bring that crap at me, something is going to break.
Yeah.
That's not a threat. That's not a threat. That's not a promise. That is just a fact of the situation.
Awesome. And yeah, I like that. And you know, I want to be the what's this? I'm in their room at Legion's Con. If they ain't tickling, what is all the giggling?
We're having fun.
We're grown men playing with toys. Come on.
Yeah.
And then we tickle. I mean, we laugh.
The only thing we have under the blanket is Hagnon for the glowing stuff, you know.
Maybe they're giggling because of a goat.
Yeah. No,
that's what makes me giggle.
Actually, when you say the goat, I'm not a big fan of the latest Thor movie. But darn those goats. Me and my wife, we screamed out laughing when we were at the cinema. People were like looking at us, and it's like,
it's the only part of that movie I like.
Yes, and it's the only thing I kind of remember that I liked. And
so
we were really
dumb.
like,
they took it too far, and it was still funny.
Yes. And it's like I don't like
when
this
they
movie.
crash into that planet at the end, like just a face.
Off the rails. Off the rails. Well,
I think I actually have to rewatch that movie with my wife again to just
YouTube that clip. Just YouTube that clip. That's all you need.
And here I was watching the movie, seeing that, and going, nobody would laugh at this. Why do they think this is funny? And clearly, I'm wrong. So.
Yes, you were wrong. You were wrong. Maybe you should laugh more.
Maybe that's what I should do.
Otherwise, Tomas will keep tickling you.
Let the goats into your heart, Curtis.
Okay.
Tomas, you're the champion, the ruling tickling champion now. We've all decided that. Thanks to everyone.
Apparently.
So you can just tickle Curtis during Legion's Con if he's not happy.
He will be happy. So
I am not super ticklish, so I might be surprised by a tickle, but that's not.
That is horrible. Yeah. I'm not saying you are horrible, but when you go,
that's fine. You've said it before,
and you want to, tickle, and then that person is like, because then it's basically you're just touching that person. You're just they're touching. It's not tickling. It's just it's not okay. And it's like real.
So if they laugh, it's okay, but if they don't laugh, it's not okay.
It's not okay at all. And I
Okay.
did this to my, a friend of ours who is, a female friend of us, and she was working. We're sitting next to each other, and I did this. And the thing is, I actually forgot. So, a couple of months later, I did it again, and she's like, "I'm still not tickling," and I was like, "This still feels wrong." I just, yeah. It's a friend of my wife as well, so it's nothing, it's not. Please continue. Thank you for the questions.
Well, we do have another $1.99 super chat from Van. It says the winner poops in the loser's backpack, which is a little bit of a sore subject with our friend Emil. I don't know, Emil, if you feel like sharing this story with folks or if we should just move on. You let me know.
Well, I don't know. It's a D&D experience, so it's not like someone has really done it in real life, but it's almost like as in real life.
But it did hurt you, and it has caused some trauma. So I think it would be best if you just kind of got it out, let the world know what occurred, so that you can maybe heal from it.
I love D&D. Okay, it was a couple of years ago since I played now, but we've been playing a couple of parties. Long time ago, I was playing with a group of dear friends, and Dungeons and Dragons is role playing. I'm not going into detail there. If you're watching Shooting the Shelf, I think you've heard a little bit about role playing, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the dungeon master tells us that we appear in the woods in front of a small lake or pond. So we're like, you realize that there's something special about this pond, and one of my friend, he's like, okay, I jump into the pond, and the rest of us was like, okay, maybe you should we should check first. No, I jump into the pond, and then he somehow gets invisible by drinking from this pond, so we don't see him. And when he comes up and realizes this, and we are all looking at the pond, and he's like, I'm gonna go and take a crap in Emil's backpack. And I'm like, what? And everyone else is like, what? Because we had put my backpack towards the tree, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not gonna do that. And he insists. So he goes to my backpack, leaning towards the tree, and tells the dungeon master that I'm pooping in his backpack. And he does that, and I'm like, I warned him, and it ended up me waving my sword at him as much as I could, but I mean, he was invisible, but I was strong, so I hit him, and we started hitting each other with the swords until the dungeon master like, you're basically, one of you are gonna die now. So you don't do that, right? Even if it's in a game, you don't poop in someone's backpack.
No.
This is one of my best friends. I'm gonna say
I have
that.
a question though. Just a rules thing. Like, did he have to roll with like super high dexterity? Because I can't imagine pooping in a D&D style
question I've
backpack.
ever heard asked on this channel. Did he have to have a high dexterity to poop in your backpack? Is that what we've come to?
Because if you're doing stealth checks and anything, because we saw what happened, but obviously we just saw something that happened. We didn't see all of him, and that is how it started. So he didn't have to roll high dexterity or
I don't know. If it was my game and I was the DM, he would have had to roll a high dexterity, because I don't know. I've never pooped in a backpack.
No one has, I hope.
But
so that was Van. Why did you bring this up? Because that's a horrible story, but it's a true, D&D story, at least.
I think what it illustrates for those of us that haven't spent a lot of time playing D&D, or maybe have never played D&D, is how you really dive into these roles, right?
Yeah.
Like you dive into this to where it's this very immersive experience. And so even though you're just talking about somebody pooping in a backpack, it's not like you really have a backpack with stuff that you want in there, the stuff that is important to you, that your friend literally pooped in. That didn't occur. You're just talking about it. But because D&D is so immersive, there is still this feeling of betrayal there.
Just talking about it says something. I mean, it's.
I'm
Does
trying
it
to
make you
understand.
nervous to open a backpack in real life when you're around this friend?
Actually, it's probably the one friend that I spend most time with of all my friends. And honestly,
So if anyone was going to do it in real life, it would be them.
it would definitely be him, because I mean we're playing board game every week, and it's like when we have a weekly board game that we're playing, and the horrible thing is that when he is getting too much coffee, and you're like, we're all very immersed in the game, and then you hear someone like, oops, and we're watching him, and he's like, this is a bad one, it's like Jeremy DeWitt.
Yeah.
I mean, one what?
The bad ways, because
Like
the good ways with Jeremy is awesome, but the farts.
Yeah.
Oh, never trust a fart.
Yeah.
Especially if you're drinking coffee.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway, nothing out for Jeremy, because Jeremy is amazing in every single way. So I didn't want to, that's not where we're going with this. This is probably a way too long discussion about
I just want to say, I'm so glad.
Didn't only pay $1.99 for that comment, and
we live in an era and a time where technology allows us to have high-def conversations with friends of ours from the other side of the world to talk about fake poop. Well,
here's the thing, because I want to go back to what Emil just said there about the $1.99 comment. We don't criticize anybody for the dollar amount that they're spending. Like there's some shows that you may super chat to them, maybe on like Sunday mornings, and you may send super chat after super chat, and they just kind of blow through it and they go right back to what they were talking about and just, kind of blow you off. Or maybe you put in a $9.99 super chat because that's what your phone allows, is it increments that end in 99. And like we'll just call this guy Steven, for instance. Like they'll read through it and they don't care because it's $9.99. But then somebody does it on the computer and it allows them to do $10, which is 1 cent more. And they're like, ooh, it's a $10 super chat. And they get all excited about it. We don't do that here. All right. If you super chat, you think that something that you need to say is important enough that you want to spend money to have us talk about it. Hey, we're gonna run it out. We're gonna see how it goes. And if it creates a new 10-minute conversation, that's fine.
Curtis, there are also shows that don't have the possibility to use super chats because what's this?
Interesting.
That's.
Oh, come on.
Aren't we on?
Are those sugar babies? Is that what you put in there?
Someone's told us that we are live in the Cabal as well. Is this?
We are. Yes, we are.
I'm not showing anything inappropriate.
Well, it's just sugar babies, right? That's what it looked like.
It's just I don't know, gummy bears, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a candy dispenser that just looks like an elf.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
this would never happen in Sweden.
I just think it's important to kind of.
Because your candy is horrible, apparently.
No.
I didn't get to try any.
Listen, I wasn't going to go there.
Didn't you even say you liked our Swedish fish better?
Yeah.
No,
they're better.
You were too quick.
Okay. That's all. Okay. That's all I meant. That's all I meant. I'm not trying to start an international situation.
But it's very sweet. Anyway, that's just.
Well, I mean, now that
I'm not in a pocket. My pockets are fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, now that we're talking about international candy. I mean, listen, your salted licorice stuff. I actually like it. I think the licorice is good. I don't know why there's the need for the terrible salt at the beginning before you get to the amazing licorice part. And I don't know why you classify something as candy that is like super salty. That would be like a chip thing or something here. But I mean, you guys, you've been here enough to know, like, overall, our candy's way better than yours, right? I mean, you're not going to sit there and try to argue that your candy's better, are you?
I'm actually gonna argue that.
Okay, I'd like to hear that because I can't
Tomas,
believe that. But go ahead.
If it wasn't so super expensive, we should bring Marabou chocolate to everyone, But it's that would probably fill our back, But
you got too much poop in there.
What age limit is it? Is this for like 3 and under? This show? because I'm a serious person, and I
Hey, I take offense to that. I'm at least 8.
Gotcha.
yeah, acting like 3.
Well, the Lord has spoken, and he says that the Swedish chocolate is better. Now, that's only one aspect of candy. Obviously, chocolate is a big aspect of candy,
No.
but
American chocolate is garbage. I'll say that. And I live near Hershey. Fight me.
Hershey's good. I like some of the Hershey, but there are some candy that are really good. Candy corns, peanuts. Oh, that's so good. Okay, and but I mean, we're putting Steven and his family through a candy. They're trying new candy. We have candy. What do you say? Candy testing every year. So it keeps coming back to the children and the boyfriends there. They don't even look at the salty liquors anymore. They're like, so we don't bring that. Yeah, we do.
Is there one that you've had them try that they have besides chocolate that they've been like, yes, this is good?
Yeah, a lot of them. Tom Scum, for example.
Yep.
Yeah, we could make a show about this, but there are a lot of them actually.
Okay. All right.
So that's 50 minutes in. We have done shelf selection, poop, and candy. Awesome.
It's a great start.
I mean,
yeah.
For some people, that's a whole show.
Yeah,
we're 10 minutes to go before I have to. No, it's
we're up to a banger of a start. So, so obviously, you guys, were at Legions Con the last few years. You traveled to Michigan. You do some yard work for Steven, and then you make the long trip up to Jersey to Legions Con. For those that haven't done that, haven't done the whole
yard work,
do the yard work for Steven, spend some time there with the boys, and then travel all those hours in a van with them. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Take it away, Tomas.
Oh, well, it's the best time of year. I mean, spend time with friends, eat good food, subpar candy, and it's just the best of time.
Yeah.
And actually, the road trip from Michigan to New Jersey, it could sound like a horrible time, but that is really enjoyable, I think. I don't know how you feel about that, Emil, but I think it's a great time. Great conversations.
Yeah, you guys like looking at the different license plates. You doing sing-alongs. What does that road trip consist of?
No sing-alongs in our car.
No.
Okay.
We have no pressure on that. We can actually, when we choose music in our car, we take turns. So it's like, okay, now it's Matt's turn. Now it's Steven's turn. Now, so that way we get to hear a lot of different kinds of music, and that's actually a part that's super fun.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, without choosing yourself, who else in that vehicle would you say has the best musical taste?
I wouldn't even place myself on top of that list.
No,
I don't know how.
So
Matt
whose choice does it come around to, and you're like, oh, I know a good song's coming?
I think all of us.
That's a cop-out answer. That's a ride the fence answer.
But I would say Matt, I think is great taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Matt Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
He comes up with songs and artists that I've never heard of, and it's great.
Tomas, you come up with songs and artists that I've never heard of. You're like, yeah, this is a Swedish band, and I'm like, okay, and they're great, but I've never heard of them. So you're like, I learn a lot from everyone, and I'm like,
yeah, it's fun.
You don't know. There's a lot of Swedish bands that you don't know. I kind of get the sinking feeling that you really don't like being Swedish. That you really wish you were American.
This is towards you, Tomas, I think.
No, this is for you, Emil.
Oh,
yeah.
I love music, but I'm having problems connecting that artist with that song and stuff like that. But I can hear good music. It's like, ooh, this is amazing. And people who loves music, they hate this kind of answer, because I can talk about, I can listen to a good classic piece from Beethoven, or or some death metal, because it's like it's good music and it's bad music, And I've heard good music in most genres. I don't prefer going to death metal and that dark, but I definitely hear stuff that's like, this is good. I hear what we're going for here.
Well, let me throw out a couple examples, and then I'll
I want to.
I'll turn it over to Tomas and see what he thinks on your Swedishness. So Tomas, I reached out to Emil because one of my favorite bands is Falconer, and Swedish band. They're amazing. They've been around for a long time. Reached out to Emil to talk to him about it. No clue. Had no frame of reference. And then that's example number one, Exhibit A, as we call it. Exhibit B, reached out to him during the Winter Olympics because I was so excited that the Swedish team won the gold in curling, and he didn't even know what was going on. Didn't care. So between those two, not really knowing anything about Falconer and not caring about Swedish winning the gold in curling, what do you think about Emil claiming to be Swedish? Does he have a claim, or do you think he's really secretly American deep down?
I don't know. I would say Falconer, when I talk about that band amongst my friends, they don't know about it. So I don't know if it's small here in Sweden or what. I don't know. It's really weird. But that's just one example for sure. But I think he is.
What about the curling?
Yeah, that's a bit weird. He should have known about that. But think about Emil this way: the amazing talent and the hard work he puts in, and still he's like, yeah, it's decent. That is very Swedish.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that
his
makes
head
sense.
isn't this big. It should be, but you
right.
know.
Well, can I contribute to this conversation?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so can we call in question Curtis's Americanness?
Oh, you absolutely can.
Because he doesn't. Do you know the band Cell Dweller?
Never heard of him.
Okay, there you go. You're not an American.
But I'm just gonna say that thank you, Jesse, for trying to step in there. But I'm not doubting Curtis' Americanness. I don't think I would guess like, yeah, maybe he's Swedish. No, he's very America.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it that Missouri education?
He's pretending pretty good.
Especially when he's wearing that hat. I mean,
$1.99 super chat from Van Johnson. Emil and Thomas, please sing Waterloo or Mamma Mia. I read it. You don't have to do it. That's not how super chats work.
It's like,
and see, that's a good example that all super chats are not the same. Some $1.99 super chats are really good and are going to generate a 10-minute discussion, and some you just kind of keep moving on.
Okay, well, we'll have to sing that some other time then, because I mean, Tomas and I, we sing.
We sing. I'm not very Swedish, if you could consider it. I don't even like ABBA, so maybe it's.
I think I just saw the back of Emil's eyeball.
You leave this country right now. No, I'm just. I mean, there are a lot of people in Sweden who don't like ABBA, but I mean, there are a lot of people with wrong opinions here.
So, tell us a little bit about Sweden as far as the toy collecting goes, because you guys both are old MOTU fans, as in you've liked MOTU for a long time, not like you're old. But and you're also Mythic Legions fans. So how did you guys find out about each other, and what does that look like in your area? Are there other people besides the two of you that you know in Sweden that are collecting Mythic Legions? And how did you guys come to know of each other?
First off, the Legions. I don't know actually how big the collecting community is. I only know of me and Emil. But then there are a couple of MOTU fans that pick up the tributes, but other than that, I don't know actually. Maybe Emil knows
There
better.
are some coming. There are.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say a lot of them. But when I started collecting, I talked to some people who had been, in from the start and had something again, and I just bought a few parts from him, and he got some parts from me. I think I got Gideon's head from him or something, like some cool parts, and he but he's not getting much anymore. But I've started to sell to a common friend of us, but I'm not sure I should say him, but who has buying figures from me. So the interest is growing, I guess, but it's very small. We're talking, there are some people in the cabal as well who are from Sweden or speak Swedish, so it's like, but we will have a Swedish meetup.
That's what I was wondering. Like, when are you guys doing the Swedish mythic meetup?
Last summer.
Or Sweden con?
Yeah,
We did it last summer, me and Tomas.
Well, I'm saying with other people, like
maybe at that time it was most of the Swedish community. Just imagine representing 50%. Let's say we're 4 collectors in Sweden, and 50% of American collectors come to the meetup in California. That's pretty good.
That would be really good.
Yeah. The fika that me and Tomas had last summer, talking mythics and life. Pretty good, I would say.
There you go.
Maybe we could be 3 people this year. Maybe.
You're setting some high goals this summer.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's.
So how did you guys come to know of each other? How did you guys meet?
MOTU.
Yeah, that was MOTU.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much we talked before, but we met twice, right? I mean, we at the MOTU meetup in Stockholm. Was that the second time we met, or the first time?
Yeah, I think it was the second time.
Yeah, the second time we had met on a toy convention, and that's probably the only toy convention maybe that I've been in Sweden. There are not many here around, and then we met at this MOTU meetup. We got a video message from Dolph Lundgren in Sweden to all of our fans, to our collecting group. After that, at the evening, we were sitting talking, everything. We had a competition. Yes, we were divided into teams and had a that was fun. And at that time, I had brought some Purplors and Chrono figures, and was gonna try and make some Legions collectors of some of my friends, and
I made it. I bought the Chrono figure from you.
Nice.
Yeah. That started it. But then Tomas taught me about because I heard about Legions cast and listened to them, and then Tomas was like, well, they have other shows as well. So he put me into this My Wife's Gonna Kill Me group, and was like, oh, nice. Yeah. So we have, it's been, giving to each other like friends.
Yeah.
You can have some of this, and I'll, so that's.
And as far as like retailers, I think I've heard like the closest one to you guys is like probably in Germany. Is that correct?
There are in Sweden, but they don't. You have to wait a long time for getting the figures, but there. I know at least one place in Sweden, but that is actually one of the things how I wanted to. Why did I have Purplors and Chronos? Because when I got into the hobby, I wanted to be a retailer here in Sweden. So I went in as a retailer with the first with the Wasteland wave. That was my goal. But it's really, really tricky for many reasons. First of all, we have that the community is not big and the interest is not, well, it was even less then. And second, it's really hard with Swedish taxes to make the prices look like, why would anyone buy from within Sweden when you can buy from Germany, for example? But I mean, even so, it's like this is a lot of work for So pretty early on, it's like, okay, I'll have to put this on hold for sure.
Mhm.
Okay. I do have a comment here or question that was asked. Favorite MOTU character, and I know each of yours, but I think the thing that was I wanted to bring this question up for is because not only do you guys have a favorite, because a lot of people can think about it and go, I got a favorite, but you guys have kind of each have kind of like an actual like army collection of your favorite. So can you guys kind of talk a little bit about that?
Well, my character is Beastman. I've always loved that figure ever since a kid. I mean, the collar just popped from the rest of the gang, so to speak. An orange monster. I just, although it's a Mossman, but I didn't know that as a kid, But that figure, that's somehow he stuck with me, and he has some really cool versions of him in the later comics. Like he is more like a force to be really scared of, not like in in the old, I mean, comics and shows. But I mean, so he's evolved with me. The way you can like the latest Mondo version. I mean, he's a beast for real.
Yeah.
So that character it never left me. He's always my favorite. I have a huge collection of all kinds of versions and foreign variants and stuff. So I just love Beastman.
Awesome. And Emil, you have a favorite that you kind of have a big collection of as well, right?
Trapjaw. And I'm going for the black-legged Trapjaw. From the original toy version. I don't have any pink legs, or I don't have any mini comics version Trapjaw. It's all the black legs version. So at one time I started army building him from the vintage toys, but I stopped that. So I think I have a bunch of incomplete and completed Trapjaws that I need to sell off because I don't have them up. I have, just like Tomas, different versions. All the versions I can find. And recently I did this one.
Yeah.
This is the Trapjaw tribute.
Fantastic.
And now this, can you put that back up for just a second? So
Sure.
with this, kind of like I was talking about with Joe's custom earlier, it looks like all of this is Legion's parts, correct?
Yes.
I don't see anything. Yeah.
No, all of these, and the only modifications I've done is the head that is from the Jacob Marley.
Yeah,
safe.
the surprise. Yep.
Yeah, the only thing I cut off the ring that is here.
Yeah.
But other than that, no modifications except for paint.
That's amazing.
And like I said, that's what I prefer. That's what I aim to do.
Mm-hmm.
But very rarely I do a piece where all the parts are like that. I usually put on some soft good or maybe some part, but this is exactly what I aim for when I do the tributes.
That's awesome. So with that,
I'm gonna guess that's Ish. So if that's Ish or whoever you are, hello.
And there is a link on Facebook if you want to click that so that we can see who you are. So with the Beastman and with the Trapjaw, what would you say, because you said you guys each have different versions on your shelf and stuff. Which one is your absolute favorite version of those characters that you have in your collection?
Okay. I know which one I have now.
Okay.
And it's actually not a action figure in the right words, but it's what you can see over here.
Yep.
Yeah, the tweeter head one. It took me a long time to decide for that because I've never bought anything that expensive for myself, except for maybe a car. But that was, I just, I thought about it for over a year.
I know there's been times where I've been like video chatting with you and like you've even said like you just find yourself like staring at it. So yeah, that's awesome.
So that is as of now, but I have a vintage top toy version of Trapjaw that is black legs, and that version has the black legs all the way up to the loin piece. So that's special. But
Yeah.
for now, the tweeter head one. Sorry,
Okay.
long answer.
Tomas?
Well, the Mondo version is super cool, but actually the classics, the red version,
Oh,
I
really?
really love them because that is more of an action figure feel. I mean, the Mondo one is almost like a posable statue, so to speak. So there's more like a great feel to the classic. I love both the original version and the red one, but the red one, there's something about him. I really like that simple action figure feel, and it's still got a lot of detail in that one. So I think that is my absolute favorite.
And that's the mini comic version, correct?
Yeah.
And was that something that, as far as like MOTU lore, that you liked that version, the mini comic, better than like the cartoons and stuff?
Sort of, because he was more beastly, came from the vine jungle and more simple. I imagine him even not being able to speak, so to speak. So I think that's more like the wild ape feel to him, like really dangerous because you don't know what to expect, so to speak. You can't even talk to him, can't reason.
Right.
So that version is scary cool, in my opinion.
Awesome. We've got a question here for
the Chrono figure. I mean, my love for Trapjaw was how I discovered Mythic Legions from the start, because I was like randomly searching for Trapjaw figures. I was like, what's that? But not negatively. It's more like, what's that? And it's like, so it's that's Trapjaw, but it's not. But it is. Oh, but it's not. But it is. And it's and then. Yeah,
so it's a good thing that Horseman didn't use the pink legs, or you might not be in the Legions right now.
You're right. and that makes me a really bad man to say, but it's really like that wouldn't, it doesn't do anything.
Paul asked if the Trapjaw is a keeper for you, or is it something that you've already sold or you are selling at Legions Con?
Trapjaw was, I mean, pretty much, it's almost like half of the tributes I just do because I want to do them, and Trapjaw was one of them. But I decided since last year that I'm selling the figures that I do. Trapjaw, I had to think, but I posted it, and I got an offer right away when I posted it. So I said, can I think about this till tomorrow? And then I decided to sell it, and that is, I'm doing something special with the Trapjaw that I'm not doing with the other figure, and that is like I got instantly another request for it, and I don't redo figures. That is, I try not to do that at all. But he asked, so I asked the original buyer, the one who bought the first one, like,
right,
I just want to check, say no, because I want to have that everyone that buys something from me, that they don't feel like I'm producing something, it's, I want them to feel happy with what they're getting. So I just said that I got a request to do this. I'm not going to say yes, but it's like, if you say it's okay that I do it and just make some small changes and stuff. And his reply made me say yes, because he was like, do more art, just put, and it's awesome. Like his response was really like, oh, okay, I don't think I can take this the wrong way. So I'm actually trying to do a second version of it.
That's cool.
Very
cool. So shifting kind of towards this year, Legions Con. Obviously, it's a big year. We've got the 10-year anniversary of Mythic Legions. We got the is it 25 years or 20 years? 25 years of Four Horsemen.
25 years of Four Horsemen.
Yeah. So big year. I expect, I mean, they've already kind of told us that Legions Con is going to be a little different this year with the whole buying experience like none other. There's going to be surprises, I'm guessing, throughout the year. What are you guys looking for? What are your hopes for this year, other than just being surprised and Four Horsemen giving us cool stuff? Like, what is something that you're looking forward to this year?
I got nothing. I haven't even got time to think about it.
Yeah.
It's all a surprise to me.
You mean in the world of, I mean, what figures that we might get or hope for to get?
Or experiences at Legion's Con, people that you're interested in maybe spending a little bit more time with that you haven't been able to see in the past. Either they haven't been to a show or you just haven't had time to spend with them. Certain things that you're looking to do, anything really.
You changing the broadening the question like that make it a lot easier, and that is really like, I was almost a little bit nervous last year, not about meeting the people, but the year before, the experience was so profoundly awesome, and I was like, it's a tricky thing to expect that again, even though we were all talking about it, this is going to happen. And I'm like, I'm not saying that I'm negative. I'm just trying to prepare myself for, okay, you can't expect that. It's like, how do you recreate that? And as soon as you got there, and it's like you saw people's faces, you saw their smiles, you know, everything is like, you were totally overwhelmed by what you were feeling. So it's like, I can't believe that feeling really came back exactly, and even more as I was hoping for. And it's like, this is, so I am, I don't want to wish for more, but I would love to experience that again this year, because that's it. Yeah, that is my honest answer.
Yeah.
And Tomas?
Good answer.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels like you don't have enough time to chat to all the people you want to, and it's almost impossible. I mean, the time we spend at the hotel and during the event. But I'm going to try to make more time for people that I want to talk. Sometimes you get like stuck somewhere. Maybe you watch some of the cool, you know, blown up big statue figures they have there, but you don't have to spend like an hour watching them. I mean, you could spend a whole day, but there's so many people you want to talk to. I think I have to get better at that. I mean, like last year, I mean, Curtis coming in with that huge cape and all, it just started so great. I mean, all good times all the time. And I mean, figures and stuff, we all know they will be cool, and surprises, there will probably be a lot of surprises, I guess. But you know that the people will be there. And that is a thing you want to make the most of, I feel. That is something I will be better at this year. The rest of the stuff, it will happen anyway, you know.
Right.
But the people and the I mean, it's just such a good time.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
I was going to say, it sounds like they're putting all the pressure on you, Curtis, to make sure you bring your AAA game to the show to kick things off right. So,
well, I think I get what each of you guys is saying, because it's like my first Legion's Con. You know, it was just such a great experience that, like, leaving it, I had such a huge low afterwards. I mean, the Legion's Con blues just hit me hard. And so going back, I get what you're saying, Emil, where it's like you kind of expect it can't live up to that every year.
Yeah.
And then it was actually better, because, you know, as much time as you try to spend with people at Legion's Con, you go the next year and you're able to spend some time with a few others that you maybe didn't get time to spend with the year before. And so it's like, I don't know, it's this weird thing where it's like, okay, I made friends with people this past year at Legion's Con that were at the previous Legion's Con, but for whatever reason, our paths didn't cross. You know, we were both there in the same spot, but we just didn't have that time. And all of a sudden you have a meal with somebody, or you just, you know, sit and chat in the lobby or whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, man, it's really cool hanging out with this person, you know, one-on-one. So yeah, those things are just super neat. And then on top of that, the toys are awesome. And I think back to like 2 years ago, you know, I know you guys got kind of a little sneak peek of the G-Con wave the night before, and which, I mean, you had the same kind of expressions and stuff that we have when we see this stuff at G-Con, whether it's, you know, on the YouTubes or whether it's live. But the fact that there was only a few of you in the studio seeing it, like your expressions were captured and even turned into like memes, you know, about like, you know, I just want to find somebody that looks at me the way Emil looks at this, you know, this figure and stuff like that. Like,
that was
and it was-
behind the camera. I really sneaked on because that was behind the camera. I didn't want anyone to see that, but I couldn't keep myself away from a record core.
Mhm. I mean, how cool was it when, like, just tell us about that experience, because you like, you're sitting there looking at these things, and we've got photos of you guys looking at this at the G-Con, where like basically they had the people in the other room, and then you guys were in the main room where they're actually showing the figures they're on, and they actually brought a couple of you guys on stage. But before that, as you're just staring, and they've got photos of you guys just looking at these figures, what's going through your mind as you're just having, like, gazing adoringly at these new figures that you're seeing?
And now we're talking about 2022, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, Tomas, and that was the first year you were. I was there the 2021 as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was
we
my
went
first
there
year.
together.
So.
Yeah.
Well, for me, since it was my first year, everything was overwhelming. I mean, but being there the night before at the studio, it strangely didn't take away, I think, from the reveal time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's strange. I mean, you know what's coming, but still, you know, what? Oh.
He's Big Dub. He had talked about the Swedish candies.
Yeah.
He did not like us, but
No.
I'm waiting to see the rest of that hashtag bacon wrap gel. What?
No.
bacon wrap gel. Okay, I'm trying. We're trying everything, right? We never say no
No.
to food and to eat edibles.
Yeah.
We eat everything.
So, I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead. So you're sitting there, you're seeing these figures as they're revealed, and you know, a lot of times they do stuff that just totally surprises us that we're not expecting, or they do stuff that we were expecting, but they just do it on such a grand scale that it, like with the bear. A lot of people expected the bear this past year, right? But they bring out this bear, and then they bring it out again when it's like standing up, and you see that it's standing up, it's taller than a troll, and like you see things like that, and like what is going through your guys' minds when you see these reveals?
I mean, same thing as was going through everyone else's mind, I guess, right? Hello, wife.
But most people don't have that expression captured in a picture, and we got that with you guys. And so it's just, I don't know if you guys don't, if you can't quite remember or whatever, that's fine. But it's just such an iconic moment that I'd love to know what was going through your head.
I remember exactly because 2022 when we went there together, the year before, Is the Wiz had taken a photo of me looking at a Rakagor, and he was so prepared for 2022. So when we got to the studio. And Necronominus and everything was put up there, and they're like, "Hey, come in, welcome! It's so lovely to be here." And we were like, "Yeah, this is so awesome," you know. And then it's like, and Is was like, because he had seen the figure and he was so expecting.
I did not expect all those figures to be out when we got there.
He was there just to get your reaction. The only reason he's there. So,
and you were right, because there were figures there that you couldn't just, you know, how that is, you know, we haven't gotten the Necronominus in wave in hand yet, but that is my favorite reveals figures wave.
Oh, it's crazy.
Surpassed the Noble Bear. It surpassed the things that we've seen in the past. That was like two of my favorite factions with all of this glory. And Gideon, sorry.
You're fine.
Gideon.
You sound a little like Toy View there for a second.
Yeah, he has that. So, I guess, Curtis, what you're asking for is like, don't fake a reaction. You don't have to fake a reaction. You know, what? Don't try to make something out of it. Like, oh, I'm gonna, and then because then you have to redo that for every figure, like every new figure. And then it's like, but because some figures you are more have a bigger impact on you than others.
Yep.
I could, when the bear was revealed, for example, I agree about it being a masterpiece and everything, but for me it wasn't obvious number one figure. I didn't have that same as when I saw Gideon on his horse.
Mm-hmm.
But the bear, but at the same time, you can see, you were there, and so when the bear was revealed, and everyone's like, "Wow!" So you feel what you feel. You don't have to. Don't fake reactions. I say,
Yeah.
Because
there is
it's okay that you don't love everything, but I say one thing: on the other hand, you don't have to sit there and be like, keep that to yourself. No one cares about that.
I don't know how you could be
or something, but it's like, it's okay. We think differently.
Maybe not the reveal specials, but I know there's sometimes Curtis does not have the strongest excited reaction to some reveals. Is that fair to say? So I would love to see your face at that moment, and then because a lot of those ones, at least since I've known you, once you've gotten them in hand and opened them up, you're like, yeah, this is way cooler than I thought.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I was not Calazir the Djinn. I was not expecting to like it all. Like when they showed that, I was like, I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna get the all in, but whatever. And then I got it in hand, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot, I'm stupid because this is. And so yeah, that happened.
I didn't say that,
but sitting in that room live, I don't know how you could not be overwhelmed by the emotion. Like when they bring up, Michael up there and they show him and they read that bio and stuff and just the emotion that flowed through that room. And then you see certain reveals. I know like Jesse and I are favored in that this wave this past year was Nieve, and they show that figure and you see the paint job and you see the skull. Yes. And like, I just don't know how you could sit in that room and not be pulled in by the art of it. First of all, like just the amount of work that Treadaway put into it. And then, all the different painters put into like that Nieve, Sherry did an amazing job painting it. So how you couldn't be taken in by the art and then the emotional connection with some of the tributes and things like that. It is quite an experience. And,
yes.
And so, we do talk as it leads up to Legion's Con that you're going to have this like hugely emotional experience. You need to be prepared for it because otherwise when you leave there, it can be a huge letdown. So, yeah.
But I mean, there are also like 4 to 6 hours of reveals.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though you are super excited, I mean, after 6 hours, I mean, there are people who are really like,
yeah,
and that's okay because I mean, how much it's like, your kid at home, like, can I have some candy? Yeah, sit here and eat candy for 6 hours. You can have anything you want. How do you feel after 6 hours? I don't want it anymore. Well, you're gonna have one more hour of candy. How do you like that? You like
I had friends like that on Christmas. The one aunt literally it felt like they brought over like a moving truck worth of presents for the kids. And to the point where it took them like 7 or 8 hours to get through everything. Like you could see the kids were like, they wanted to take a nap. And these weren't little kids. These were like teenagers or, around that age. Yeah. And they were just, I mean, they were happy and grateful, but they were like, I want to stop opening things right now. Like, my blood sugar's getting low. I'm gonna pass out.
Yeah, and the thing is, you really want people, kids, but people also, I mean, when they receive something, to appreciate the gift that they're getting. You know,
Mhm.
you should be thankful for what you get.
Mhm.
But doing like that relative of yours, because you give so much presents, that's a pretty big demand to put on a kid, that you should now be grateful after all of these hours.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's not about being thankful anymore. It's just you're tired, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point, because I am one that if I go through heavy emotions, like I do get like sleepy afterwards. Like Christmas morning, I'm super excited to see my kids' reactions to things, and we'll get up at like 5 a.m. and I'll be fully jazzed, energy, like I'm ready to go. Get me a coffee, and like they open the presents, everything happens, and then like almost immediately afterwards, I'm like dead tired. Like I need a nap, you know.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, if I was as a kid, if I was nervous about something, like I knew I was in trouble and I was just waiting for my parents to get home and, you know, find out something that I did at school or something, like those nerves and everything hit you. And then after it's done, you're just like wiped out and you got to go to sleep. Like that's how Legion's Con hits me. So I know what you're saying. Like after all those reveals and you've got these tributes and people upstage going through all these things, it's like, yeah, it does take its toll on you for sure. You just got to get up and stretch your legs and get a piece of tomato pie.
Yeah, but but I also know. I mean, there were people who left to the hotel room just to take a short nap or just a short rest to, you know, to get your energy back, and then you can go down and keep enjoying reveals. So it's like it's not a pressure to sit there, but of course you want to sit there. You know, I didn't want to leave for a bathroom break, but I forced myself after a while. So it's like.
No one wants to clean that up.
No. I mean, I went to the bathroom.
Well, gotcha. I know, but I mean, you made yourself go to the bathroom, so you didn't have an accident because no one wants to clean that up.
I'm having a break now, a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to talk about you guys kind of bringing your art
hangovers
didn't help. At Legion's Con. Obviously, Emil, you know, we see your tributes. You have an amazing table, but and we'll get to talking to you. But I wanted to talk to Tomas first, because last year you actually brought several of your customs to display on the Wolf King Customs table. So tell us a little bit about that experience and how that was for you, and what people can expect from you. Are you going to bring stuff this year?
Last year was a blast. It was the first time I brought something to display and sell. And I didn't expect to sell anything, but I actually did sell. And that was really fun. And it's I have never done that, so it was very new to me. Steven was next to me helping me, because I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just behind the table like, you need to get out there, promote your stuff, talk to the people. Like, oh yeah, I guess you have to do that. So I got better at it later during the days, but at first I was just present, you know.
Gotcha.
But I'm not like super social. I mean, I have no problem talking to people, but I'm like selling stuff. I'm not the typical seller, you know, talking me up and saying good stuff about my work. That's not just me. I'm just present, and that's not the way you sell stuff, I've heard. But
and part of it's like an art exhibit though too. So even if you don't sell it, it is cool just to get your work out there and have people look at it and appreciate it and that kind of thing as well. So from that aspect, like you know, how neat was that just to be able to have your stuff on display at Legion's Con and have people looking at it?
Oh, it was surreal. It was, and that people actually stopped and looked. I mean, there was so much cool stuff at the Wolf King table. It felt like no reason to stop and look at my stuff, but people still did, and I really, it felt special. I was really happy that people enjoyed looking at it, because there's such a huge variety of stuff. And I was next to what's his name, David Williams.
Yeah, you're in between David Williams and Steven, which
if
you're displaying for the first time at Legion's Con, That's kind of an intimidating spot to be in. Yeah.
It is for
Yeah.
sure. But after a while, it didn't feel like that. We were just friends displaying, selling stuff and talking, and it was just such a great time. And we were helping each other out when you need to go buy something or go to the bathroom, whatever. And just the new experience, but a great experience. I really enjoyed it.
And are you bringing stuff again this year? Is that something that you're expecting to do going forward, or
I am, but this year has been not. I got 2 customs. That's all I've done this year. Almost 3 months I've been in the hospital with my son. So even though I had some time in between, I haven't had like motivation to do anything like that. So I just, maybe from now on, I might be able to do something. But now my other hobby is picking up. The summertime, it's motorcycles and stuff. So
yeah,
we'll see. I will bring something to sell and display for sure. But how much, I don't know.
We'll get to Emil stuff in a second. I did see that comment that Jesse just pulled up, asking about your son, how things are going. Obviously, we've been following because of your posts in the Cabal and your journeys with taking Torgen with you and that kind of thing. So, how things going on that front?
We're done with the long, hard treatment that we did the past 3 months. So now it's recovery time, building up muscles and
Tomas,
because he's been.
Tomas, maybe if there is someone who doesn't know, do you mind?
Oh
saying
yeah, I have one of my kids got a serious cancer diagnosis. So we have been treating him the past 3.5 years. And it looks like now we're supposed to be done, but we were not out in the safe zone right now, but maybe later this summer. There are a lot of checkups to do, but it looks good at the moment. It's recovery time at this time, so
awesome.
We're hopeful. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to building up strength and muscle and that kind of thing, I know we're in a kind of weight loss kind of exercise type group. And you have kind of a unique way of doing that because you're very much with the kind of working out by being outdoors and doing stuff in the wilderness and stuff. So can you talk a little bit about that? How you stay fit?
For years I was competing in motocross and enduro, and during that time I worked out in the gym. But this past 10-12 years something, my motivation is just being out in nature, walking, and some parks that you walk through here, they have bars and stuff. You can do pull-ups. I'll stop and do that, and constant movement. That's simple, and that's what I like to do. So yeah,
there you go. Yeah, that's kind of what I picture when you make one of your posts is like you're saying, like Rocky, where you're like pulling the ropes with the logs behind it and chopping wood and all that kind of stuff. You got that like wilderness strength, Yeah,
but I really enjoy that way of just moving forward. I don't really enjoy going to the gym and closing the door and doing stuff, but my workout buddy is not living in this town anymore. It's easier when you have someone pulling you in the right direction. So I don't have that, but going out, that's easy to do.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And Emil, I know, we've talked and you've actually been working out quite a bit lately as well. And I believe you mentioned a certain benefit to being able to work out. That was like your number one benefit to exercise. I don't know if maybe you want to talk to the folks about that.
Speaking the truth, okay? So when you don't feel fit at all, and you are an expert at making all the old man sound, and then you're starting to work out, and you're starting to feel stronger, and then you're like, hey, it's easier to get up from the toilet now. And with that not said, I'm not saying that it's like, I have to fight my way up, but it's like And now he's like, I can just live. Yeah, that is honestly, some small things that makes like, wow, it's a big difference. You just want to make fun of me in front of everyone.
No, I wanted to bring the conversation back around to where we started, and yeah. So,
is there a backpack involved?
Not in my story. Actually, I have a backpack or a similar thing when I go to the gym with the same guy who pooped in my bag during D&D. So that's the one I'm not leaving him alone with my backpack.
I was going to say there is an insane amount of trust there.
It is,
from
yeah.
you, so
yeah, I know. I'm yeah. That is also something that you mentioned right away, actually, about having someone to go to the gym with, because we've been doing this for some time now, and it's really like in the beginning we usually said like, okay, are we gonna train today? Are you ready to train today? Even though we had decided the times and stuff, we still send a question like, are we gonna train today? And now we moved away from that, and more like, it's like you don't ask yourself when you wake up in the morning, should I go to work today or not? No, you go to work, and then we have this set time when we're going to the gym. He's picking me up right after work. So it's more like it's regular routine. It's more like today I can't go because of something else is happening. So then we don't allow that thought of should I, or maybe I shouldn't. I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. I'm so tired, because that you can be. But you're like, let's, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. So talking. So I honestly, I don't think I would go and work out if it wasn't for him. So it's not like, yeah, you're so good at working out. No, and he says the same thing, because we are having fun. It's part of it, and makes us feel good. Like the bathroom thing is it sounds fun, but it's actually a real benefit that
we're getting older.
I want to tag on to that, where you're saying like it helps to have kind of somebody with you, because we are also part of something we call the customizing studio, and each Sunday we're out there, and we've got a chat that goes on, and we're sitting there talking via our phones or computers or whatever, and we've got a lot of folks in there that are creating. And much like you're saying with having somebody to go with you to the gym, I think when you're customizing, it also helps to have other people on that journey with you, to where it keeps you motivated to doing it. So wanted to see if you could kind of talk just a little bit about your experiences in the customizing studio, some of the people that you've seen kind of get their start in there, and just anything else that you have related to that for anybody that maybe hasn't tried the customizing studio.
Well, Customizing Studio is a group that you contact Curtis Ackerman to be a part of, and then you can, during the Sundays around this time, we are those who want to. We sit and with our webcam or our phones mainly, and we sit and paint, each with our own project. And some don't paint, some don't customize, some sit there and chat, because it's nice to have someone to chat with. But they're also like, what paints are you using for that? How are you doing that? Can you show me that? Or we discuss these things, and some people can sit for a long time just being quiet and listening to everyone else. So it's but it gets you moving if you have that feeling of, I want to paint, but I just don't get the time, or I just don't make the time, or I just have an excuse. And it's easy to have that, like, I say that I want to paint, but I should probably get back to the TV as well, because that sofa looks more comfy. And it's like, if that's what you want, sure. But if you want to customize, if you want to paint, then the studio is a nice place to have an excuse to, like, well, okay, it's 7 p.m. Swedish time. Then it's like, yeah, now I end the week with a couple of hours of sitting here and painting and talking, and I enjoy it a lot. I try to be there most Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you, Curtis, for that initiative, because it is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's similar to what you were talking about with the working out. It's not, am I gonna customize this weekend? It's, hey, I know there's a studio at 1 p.m. and my friends are gonna be there and they're gonna be working on stuff. I'm gonna be there too, and I'm gonna jump in and work on stuff. And it's just been like, for me, selfishly, it's like, hey, it makes me want to customize more, which I know is good for my mental health, to be creative and doing that kind of stuff. But it's just, and it helps to know that there's folks there that I want to hang out with. And then on top of that, it's been awesome to see, like, Tanya from Legion's Ladies. She jumps in a couple months back and works on her first custom and uses a head that she got from Wolf King, from Stephen Bisciotti, and she decides she wants to make a tribute figure. Does an amazing paint job. Immediately starts working on her second tribute figure, and just kind of seeing her progress has been awesome. And then you get somebody like Mira that jumps in, and she's just full of just energy and excitement and passion, and just seeing like how excited she is about this stuff. It makes you excited about this stuff. And then you've got some newer folks in there. You got, people like Joe Vassapolo jumping in and talking to you about, things that he's working on and tips and tricks. And Emil, who, I mean, I would say right up there at the top of the customizing world in terms of like what you're producing. Like there's, if you can jump into the studio and get, any sort of advice or tips from anybody, like this is the guy you want. So I think it's been neat. And like Emil show things off that he's working on, and it's like, oh yeah, I cut this part off of this. And did you know that these two things separate? And if you do this, it comes out this way. It's like things that you wouldn't even think about doing. So it's just a lot of fun. It's fun to see people in all different stages of their customizing journey, whether it's somebody that's just admiring it from afar, somebody that's starting out, or somebody that's, very experienced and is an amazing artist. You've got all these different folks in there each week. And I truly appreciate the people that make time to do that each week, because it is just a huge, healthy environment for, just to sit around and create. So
it's also it's also a place for, sometimes we don't have anyone to talk to, and don't want to be alone. It's one of the, I hope that we all get try to get multiple of the environments that we don't have to be alone when we don't want to. When we want to, I have to have a lot of alone time to refuel my batteries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a daughter crawling on the floor here because she doesn't want to be on camera. My wife is more like, yeah, here I am.
Yeah.
It's family time. But so two things. First, you need your alone time. That is not now. But I mean, the customized studio has also been a place where someone has just popped on and shares what he or she wants to share, and it might be easier to do while we're just sitting here doing stuff. We can just sit and paint and listen to something life-changing that has occurred, that is horrible and hard to handle. And not that we are sitting there as someone is giving an answer. That is not what we do to our friends. We don't give answers when people are problems. We can't always do that. Sometimes we can, but we all can just be there. And I think it's harder. It's easier to sit and help someone or just talk to someone who it's way harder to reach out and, hey, I just want to know that you're there, or I just want to say that I'm sad or something. That's way harder.
Yeah.
And I'm first to admit that I wish I was better at that, actually. because those days are, the days when you should reach out to someone.
Yeah, there's no
You're like,
reason
"Nah,
to
I
suffer
don't."
in silence for sure. I mean,
No,
that's what's so
but I
great about
do,
this community.
and you guys maybe do as well, because I mean it's trickier. I'm, you know, it's harder to ask someone for help than to give help.
I want to pull up this comment from First 58. For someone who doesn't have Facebook, would you recommend creating one for the Cabal and the customizing studio? Listen, I get it. There's certain reasons that some people want to stay off of social media. I totally get that. I would say the Cabal is an amazing place to be part of the Mythic Legion community. So if you join just for that, I think that is a good reason to have a Facebook, even if it's just for that. And then, yeah, if you're planning on customizing, the customizing studio is, for me, it's been one of the things that has helped me continue being creative. So yeah, for me, I would, but I mean, you got to make that decision for yourself, but I think there's definitely some benefits to it. But yeah, and then, just following that up, I saw, Jesse pulled up the comment from Tanya, said would never have done the customs she has without the studio. So such a great place, so much knowledge, and I've learned a lot. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So
do you have? I mean, I wouldn't want to be without the Cabal, but if you only want to be in the customizing studio, you only need Messenger. And
yeah, I mean, you still need a Facebook account to do Messenger. I believe so. Jesse,
maybe that it wasn't social media expert. Didn't used to be like that, but anyway, it might have changed into that.
Maybe if you can create a Messenger account without having Facebook, then yeah, I would say you can go ahead and just do that. But
uses the same account. I don't think, I think you can create the account just to use Messenger now. But if you logged into Facebook, it would be the exact same login. I think it is the same account.
Okay.
And
it's all meta now. So
Dorkler says his Facebook account exists only to be in collectors groups. So
I was pretty much out of Facebook, other than I didn't even have it on and stuff. Before the pandemic and everything hit in 2020, I had stopped using Facebook except for work. I used it at the comic shop to do our weekly posts, or if I ever needed to do anything like that. But I wasn't active in any groups. I didn't do anything. And then I went to Legions Con that 2021. So almost a full 2 years without Facebook, actively. And I was like, I got to be a part of this. And I jumped in, and I've been able to dodge most of the stuff I don't like about Facebook by mainly just going to the groups or interacting with the people I want to interact with. So,
and William Golden says he has an account just for Messenger. So there you go. Cool. So Emil, we talked about Tomas and his stuff that he brought to Legions Con. Would like to kind of touch on yours, because you've gone through an interesting journey where initially you were making these things just for yourself, just to show and bring to the show to have people look at, but you weren't selling anything. And over the past couple of years, that's transitioned a bit. And I think with it has brought you some value, not just in the terms of monetary, but some value in terms of emotionally being able to have pieces of your art going to other people's collections. So can you talk a little bit about that, and what you enjoy about that process?
About where I am right now?
Yeah, the whole journey, from start where you were and why now you have decided to sell pieces, and how that makes you feel.
Oh, awesome. There are some steps, I guess, when first getting into customizing is the same reason why I still enjoy customizing. It's fun, and I realize what it does to me. It makes me this is one of those places where I feel relaxed, and I can really what do you say, charge my batteries for other life stuff. We're life stuff that summarizes it all, I guess, and we need whether it's watching movies or customizing or whatever we do, customizing is one of the things that I have. Probably the main thing that I have that makes me. I can just delve into this world and just sit here and carve and paint and just watch some YouTube. So I started doing that. It was just for fun, and it took a lot of time to make the figures. So it was only for me. I'd never planned to sell them. I didn't want to set a price for if I would sell them. I was like, no, it's better to, like Tomas. I'm not a salesperson. So it was not like, okay, I'll just set this price. No, I'm not gonna set a price. This is for fun. So LegionsCon 2021, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
I brought my Avengers tribute figures, and I hadn't done many other custom figures before I delved into doing some tributes. Actually, I had. Anyway, that's something. But I had brought my tribute figures, and I was asked to sell them, and I said no. It was and there was some prices being joked around. Trevor Williams, he jokingly threw some prices at me. He says now that it wasn't jokingly, but I don't know anymore. I know that I said no to everything because these are my babies. You don't sell your babies, and I love doing them. For the next year, it was the same thing. I did a lot of customs throughout the year because I loved it, and I brought them to LegionsCon. And I stood next to Travis Bowles, and he was like, "Well, you can always ask what someone wants." Okay, you weren't joking. Okay. I really don't remember, but I remember what you said. And Travis said, you can always ask what someone's willing to pay. You don't have to set a price. Just ask. And then you hear a price, and then you can think about it. And then I got a request to sell my Batman figure. That was the first tribute figure I sold. And I just, no, I'm not selling it. And I said that during the whole Saturday of that con. And it's like, and I did what Travis said. But anyway, if you would buy it, what kind of price would you give? And I got a price, and I was like, I have to think about this, because I realized that something happened. I was thinking about the process, and before going, I was actually, when I was packing the figures, I was thinking like, these will be taking more paint jobs for every trip I'll take. Shelves is getting more crowded. And I love making the figures, and I will continue to make more figures, and then they will, pile up on the shelf, and that, it doesn't look how I want it to be for the figures anyway. Ended up selling that figure.
Well, okay, let me jump in here, because before you sold it, so I'm sitting right behind you at that point. I didn't have a table that year. I was just helping out Steven. I know Tomas was with you. You really agonized over that decision for a bit. Like there was pacing. You're asking people. You actually had to step away from your table for a little bit and
was that sale?
It was. And
I was thinking about the next one.
I remember you talking to me about, there was a connection where when you talked with this individual about how much he loved Batman and how much like that character, how important it was to him, and why it's so special. It wasn't just a monetary experience. It was a whole thing about this person made a sales pitch on why it's going to a good home,
And I know it sounds.
And I remember
silly.
that moved you.
It did, and I know how silly it sounds as well, because I mean you made fun of that, a lot of times, like, yeah, you sell your expensive customs and stuff like that. You're giving me crap about that, but that was really, and thank you for reminding me, that was really how I ended up selling it, and he was happy and I was happy. And after that, the rumor spread that I was selling, and then another gentleman approached me and asked me if he could buy the Avengers. It was not Trevor Williams. It was another person. I was like, I have to think about this. And then that is the time when I left the convention. That was that was the only time I went up to the room and was really like, I mean, if it was just for money, it would have been easy, right? Just sell them. But it's like, this is, for me, it was something more. Like, yes, and it was very encouraging to have someone ask to buy them as well. But then I realized that, okay, I have to ask Trevor, because if he was real the year before, I couldn't just go and sell them now when he had asked. And so I asked him about it, and he said yes. And at the end of the commitment, and that's, I told the other person who had given me the offer that I'm sorry, I feel bad for not selling it to you now, but I had to ask him since the year before. Kind of like that. Of course, I was happy to sell it to Trevor as well. That was the start of doing, selling the customs. But I didn't sell anything more. I didn't think about it anymore, because these were the things that I had gotten offers on. A week or so after that Legions Con, I got a request for a commission. Do you do commissions? No, I said. I don't do commissions. But I mean, what character are you thinking about? Because that is really one of the things. Right. I love hearing about people's thoughts or feelings towards different characters, because different of these characters mean so different things to us. Like I talk about Trapjaw, and then I got really curious, and it's like, but I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to set the price. But I asked him, okay, what would you be willing to pay? And it was a good price. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And he didn't want to see it until the next Legions Con. So I did the figure. Took a long time to figure out some of the parts for that one. It was the Green Ranger, the Power Rangers. And I was our conversation about it made me really like, wow. And during the spring, I don't know if it was March or April, I was doing a lot of more figures, because this is, like we said, this is what I love doing, and the shelf got crowded, more and more crowded, and I was like, I think I'm gonna sell them all, because I'm not a very rich man financially or space wise. Okay, so it's like, and then I put out the figures that I had done photos of, said that I will be selling these in at Legions Con in November. And if someone wanted to reserve one of them now or something, that you could do that, just. And
so this is where I'll interject again. So at this point, you're thinking about making this post. You go to make this post, and I know you're talking to me and a couple of our other friends and saying, I may sell one or two of them. I don't know that people are going to be interested in this, but I figure I'll at least throw it out there. I'm not sure how well it's going to be received. And immediately, like, you seem to have sold several of them, like, really quickly.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think I mean, really quickly. And I said I wanted to display them at Legions Con, and they could pick them up there at Sunday. But there was some that I actually ended up shipping because they were not going, and I had already displayed them at the con. But then this also ended. I'm not sure if I wrote something about commissions. I don't think so. But someone reached out. Are you doing commissions now? And I had set a fixed price of $400 for each custom. So I was like, I know, I know that's considered a lot of money, and it's a good price for a custom figure. but I also recommend people that want to get into this for the money. Don't do that, because it takes more time. It's better to go down work at the local store or something. But if this is like getting paid for watching Netflix, that's something else. Like you're doing something that gives you energy. And I got some requests to do customs, and then that's how it started. And yes, and that is actually, I got one commission that I instantly had an idea for, because I've been thinking about the Emma Frost, and I said that is a figure that's gonna be available. I want a head for her that is being released in the Poxus wave.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be over a year from now. And he was like, "That's okay, I'll still reserve it." And I was like, "Wow, that's very awesome." And everyone who has done a commission request for me to me, we talked about the characters. Some, if you want a cool character, that's fine. Then I still want to, what do you find cool about this character? Is there a special version of this character? Is it our Mark Bagley's Carnage, or is it the new one of the movie versions Carnage, or is it like because to try to catch some of that? And I always do a lot of research, because it's fun. I watch YouTube origin stories of characters, different costumes that are available and stuff like that. And it's like, what are the best costumes? And so I guess that's it. I ended up selling all my customs at Legion's Con, and I've been doing a lot of commissions this year. More commissions this year.
Well, and one more aspect that I wanted to ask you about before we close out this part of it, because I know recently you've started taking commissions on characters that you don't have a background with, like you're not familiar with. Yeah. And so now, not only is that a custom that you have to do, but you're doing a lot of research on that character to learn about it. So, how has that been? Have you enjoyed that part of it? And has it led you into any properties or characters that you like that you maybe didn't know about before?
Yes, and yes, and yes. With good yes. I don't usually post what person who has asked me for a commission job. I don't post that when I post the customs. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but I just want to make sure that if that person doesn't want that out there, I just better be safe than sorry. I don't want to. But Big Dub has already posted in the threads that he is the one who has requested the Chrono Trigger characters. So that's why I'm feeling free to say that. Okay. And when he started approached me about the Chrono Trigger characters, which are like this group of characters, and I've only heard about the game. I don't know the characters. I know nothing of them. And we have had a lot of conversations about these characters and about the story, what the game means to him. Not revealing anything about what he's told me, of course, but and then I've spent a lot of time on Google and YouTube, going through all the. I think there was 1 hour YouTube clip where they play the whole game, or they went to the storyline of the whole game, and I was like, I've not played the game, but I love the characters now. So that is something so for me it's like I've gotten the door opened to the world of Chrono Trigger and these characters, and now it's like something that I've only heard about before. Now it's part of what I like without having played the game, and that's weird, but I like this now.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because that's when you've told me that. Like, to me, that is kind of what like Figure Obscura does for me. Like Monkey King or something like that. Like I had no no frame of reference too, but like the figure comes out, I see, you know, the thing that Jeremy writes up and stuff, and then it's like, oh, I want to learn more about this character and you know, that world and that kind of thing.
Yes,
And so
exactly.
it is kind of neat that door, like you said, gets opened up to that property.
Yeah, and then there is a toy property, and it's like, okay, this has only been sold as toys from different versions.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get this? And what is? Oh, there's not much lore. Oh, there's not much story. What information do you get from this? And that's like so much fun.
Yeah.
Now I see a comment here, Journey to the West by William Golden.
Mm-hmm.
Journey to the West with Monkey King. So this shirt, this is, I did this shirt. It's a chibi version, you know, like a cute version of these 3 characters. That is, this text here is science fiction essay, the science fiction version of Journey to the West.
Cool.
Interpreted by it's Leiji Matsumoto's manga from 1978. So it's like, I love the Journey to the West, and these are, I just want to say that.
Awesome.
but the sci-fi version.
So I got one more thing. So I got a request multiple times. I mean, my phone was blowing up during the conversation because our good friends Van and Jordan would like to know how you would say purple gang gang in Swedish. And they would love to hear you and Tomas both say it. If there, I don't even know if it translates, because sometimes there's not direct words for certain things, but if there is, they would love to know how you say purple gang gang in Swedish.
Easy, right?
Ja.
Ja, det här blir lätt.
You or me first. Or same time.
Okay. On 4, like 1, 2, 3, and then okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Lila gäng.
There you go.
So off sync.
Lila gäng.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. So it just Lila Yang Yang. Is that right? Lila Yang Yang?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, there we go. Beautiful. Wow.
It sounded Asian almost.
A little bit. It did, yeah. Right from the journey to the west to that.
That was a leap.
So guys, it's been a ton of fun having you guys on. I am so looking forward to seeing you guys again in November. I'm excited for you guys to get some of that amazing Stephen Bisciotti breakfast. Yeah. I mean, world famous, really. You know, if you can ever stay at somebody's house and have breakfast in the morning, that's the one to be at, right? I mean, we can all agree on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, looking for you guys to having that, and yeah, this has just been fun. Jesse, I know I've been kind of dominating this discussion, but what else you guys got for these guys?
I don't even know at this point. I mean, I feel like any question I would ask would just take us like for, you know, further on and further in. So we'll just have to save that for another time.
Well, apparently we got 202 days till Legions Con 24.
Awesome. That means it's like 290 something days to Legions week.
Yeah.
There you go.
Important.
Mythic week.
Yeah.
Yep. Very important week.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys are ready for your yard work. Hope you guys have been preparing. I know it sounded like from talking to Steven, he was really impressed with Tomas's yard work, but Emil, he said he kind of kept mowing in the same spots that he had already mowed. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. They might need to do a little practicing on the zero turn before that week. So
Jesse, we had a really good conversation right now. Everything was going good. It was about to be wrapped up.
I know.
And then he had to be like, "Oh, by the way, here is some poop. Take this." Like, is that how you end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Backpack. Oh, you wrapped it up good. Okay, I'm done.
Well, I appreciate
Thanks
you
for
guys
having us.
joining us for this, special edition at a special time, and it's been a ton of fun. I can't wait to see you guys in November. You're absolutely two of my favorite people, and yeah, I can't wait to see you guys again. So
Can't
thank you
wait
so
to see
much.
you guys as well.
Yeah, thank you for having us on, man. It's been a blast.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun.
It's always fun talking with you guys. It's great to see you in person. Yeah, getting to hang out at Legion's Con is going to be amazing. So, and for all those who haven't come or are thinking about it, if you can make it happen, it's totally worth coming to have these kind of conversations in person. And just, I'll say this about Legion's Con: be like Wash from Firefly, be a leaf on the wind. Just kind of go where the stuff takes you and just enjoy the moments with the people you get to be with, and just take it all in, because it's a lot to process. So just have fun with it.
I did want to pull this up from Greg. He's got a little challenge out there that we bring the best candy from our country and state to see what the best candy is at Legion Con. So
who would be the judge of this?
I don't know. We could probably find somebody that did not bring the candy that can judge, but somebody that's impartial. But
contest over peanut butter eggs from Reese's. That's it.
What?
He's saying peanut butter eggs from Reese's.
Wait a minute, peanut butter eggs.
It's essentially the same as a Reese's peanut butter cup, but it's a little bit larger. And I think the proportion of chocolate and peanut butter is a much better mix in the peanut butter egg than the regular peanut butter cup.
I mean, when we saw Reese's on the shelves, right, Tomas? They were like Reese's, and you're like, yep, all this is good.
Yeah.
I love peanut butter.
So if you're coming to Legion's Con from a different country, make sure you bring some of your candy.
Unless you're from Sweden.
Yeah, if you're just from a state that has some sort of state specific candy that you think is the best, or you think it should be in the running, make sure you bring it with you, and let's try it out, and let's see whose candy reigns supreme at Legion's Con.
And Greg, I don't know what you're gnawing over there, Greg, but I don't hate New Jersey like I used to when I was a kid, or at all at this point. But New Jersey does not have the best everything. I'll agree with Curtis, and you guys have great pizza. Like top tier pizza for sure.
Oh yeah, best pizza.
Yeah,
cool. All right, well, we'll see at Legion's Con. Thanks guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're gonna put you backstage, close out the show. If you have to run, we understand. If not, hang out, and we'll be right with you as soon as we close it out. So
sure. Bye everyone.
Appreciate it.
All right, Polish candy, that's different. That's okay. I'll let you claim Polish candy might be better than peanut butter cups, but not New Jersey candy.
Gotcha. Yeah,
but prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Give me that candy. I feel like my lights went out.
Jesse will bring some Amish candy, and
no. You don't go near the Amish. Real quick. Last time I went near the Amish, which was over almost 20 years ago, every time I called home to talk to my dad and stepmom, my stepmom kept talking about how the girls wanted to marry me.
Okay.
Because I had a beard. They were literal children, and I'm like, don't ever say that to me again. Don't talk to me. Stop. I know you're friends with that family, but don't say that to me. I'm an adult. This is weird. Leave that conversation alone.
I mean, really, the two main things are: do you have a beard, and can you put up a house?
No.
And if you can do those two things,
I can't put up a house.
Okay. Well, you're halfway there.
Unless it's a Lego house.
Well, I appreciate everybody joining us for this special time. I'm not looking forward to working tonight, but I appreciate everybody that joined us here early. It was a great opportunity for us to have the Swedes on. They are wonderful. And next week, we've got some guests there as well. You want to show us what we got there, Jesse?
It's not so much a picture this time, just because I don't know if I'm putting in the effort to draw all 85 guys that are part of this podcast. But next week, we have the Mythic Enablers joining us. I don't know. I can't remember. You set this up. Are they all coming, or is it just a couple of them?
here's the thing. These guys are hot right now, right? It's like Zoolander hot right now, and everybody's trying to get them. My understanding is tomorrow night they're on the lounge, and it's going to be all 5, not 85, but all 5 of them on the lounge. I know Saturday Live is trying to get them, and it's just hard to schedule. You know, when they've got all those people, it's hard to get everything scheduled. Next week, we're going to have as many Mythic Enablers as will show up. And if they don't show up, Jesse and I will be dressed up and pretending to be the Mythic Enablers.
No, I mean, Curtis might. I'm not dressed. That's too much work.
I know for sure we've got Eric. I'm pretty sure we got Noah. I'm not sure about the other 3. We will see who joins us next week. But if you want to see all 5 of them, tune in tomorrow night. Legion's Lounge. They are back. They're going to be talking Pop and Swap. They're going to be talking Mysteries of Mythos. And they're going to be talking to the Mythic Enablers about their audio podcast, which, if you haven't checked out yet, is really good. So definitely check that out and be on the lounge tomorrow, because they've got an exciting show. And you know what? I like those guys. Nate and Trevor, Dorclair, good show. So
absolutely.
Also, later today, our good friends Latin Legions, they are going live, and they have Purple Gang on today. So that should be fun.
Oh my.
Yeah, 2 worlds collide. Latin Legions and Purple Gang. So
that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, it will be. I know leading up to it, Van and Jordan have only been watching Cheech and Chong movies all week. So they're ready. They have got their accents down, and they are ready.
Oh
so tune in for that.
No comment.
All right,
everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight here on the old Shooting the Shelf. Thank you to Emil and Thomas for being here. Latin Legions has been at 6 o'clock Eastern, Andy. Yeah, so I don't know if they're doing anything different tonight, but usually it has been 6 o'clock since they started going live. So yeah, with all that said, all right, first 58. You'll have to let us know what your name is, unless you use the first 58. I'll go in and comment.
Yep, and I will approve you if I know what your name is.
That too. Oh yeah. Cosmic Connections. Full episode 1 is out from Jeff and Greg. So got to look up, what was it? Source Figura, I believe, is the YouTube page. If you just search Cosmic Connections, you're going to find a lot of like meditation and
I believe there's a link in the Cosmic Cabal if you're in there.
Yes.
So yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, so check out Cosmic Connections on their site. Yeah.
And don't poop in anybody's backpack, real or D&D. It's just not cool.
I mean, preferably use a toilet if you're out in nature and you need to go somewhere. You figure it out. But yeah, not someone's backpack.
Yeah, not cool.
No. All right. And if you do, make sure you roll a dexterity savings roll to see how successful you are.
And tell them Shooting the Shelf sent you.
Getting it in the bag. Source Figure. Source Cosmic Legions with Cosmic Connections. So there you go. Go check that out. And where's my button? Until next time, Curtis.
What's on your shelf?